Nancy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Bits and Pieces NYC. Here, bit by bit, piece by piece, we want to explore all things Caribbean, all things New York. Please like, share the broadcast, tell a friend. We've got a good conversation for you this evening, and we'll be back shortly to introduce our guest. All right, we are back. This is Bits and Pieces NYC. Gentlemen, starting with Ralph. Could you just, quickly introduce yourself for our audience, please?
Ralph Damesh, President of the Indo-Caribbean Federation.
Okay, Krish.
Chris Passat, I guess I'm retired now, so I'm not involved in no cricket per se. I used to be a president of the ESCA New York region and a
Uh,
member of the United States Cricket Board.
okay, thank you. Yudesh.
Yadesh Bisnat, current player of Galaxy Cricket Club and New York 11 Cricket Club. Been playing cricket in New York for the past 20 years.
Okay, great. Welcome aboard, gentlemen. Ralph, I'm going to start with you and that game we had last Saturday. But just before that, let's take a little bite, a little bits and piece. As you may know, Yudesh is now a dad. Do you have any little bits of advice to lay on him, Ralph?
Sure, first of all, I want to congratulate him again. And it's good to be a young dad, so by the time you get older, you have someone to walk you around, It's your, it's your turn now to walk him around, so by the time you get to 50, he's going to be up there, ready to hold your hands.
All right.
Thank you
All right.
for the advice.
All right. So we had the annual ICF game this past weekend on the 25, Ghana versus the rest of the world. And again, Ralph, Ghana came at the bottom. What's going on? What's with this tradition of,
Well, Nancy, this game has been going on for the past 31 years.
Mhm.
As Chris would know that we attracted very large crowds back in the days at Whitestone Bridge,
Okay.
and it used to be between Guyana versus Trinidad. And in
Mhm.
those days, there were a lot of young cricketers that just came up from the Caribbean, and the game was very competitive because most of the players are all national players. They come
Okay.
up here for the summer, and like we used to have 2 to 3 thousand people at the ground at Whitestone. Over the years, we have started to not only make it a game, but we have also started to honor some of these former test players. Like, for
Mhm.
instance, Bernard Julian, Rafik Jumadine, Reg Pereira, a commentator, and some of the local guys like the Roman Etwaros, Len Bechan, Sue Shivnarayan, Derek Kalcharan, just to name a few. So
Okay.
we made that into not only a cricket game, but we also do on 2 years ago, we honored a guy by the name of Sonny Basdio. Sonny Basdio actually played for British Guyana against the MCC back in the
Interesting.
60s.
Okay.
Yeah, so he came to the United States, and guess what? He's lost in society because no one knew who he was. And we did honor him in 2019. And, the gentleman started crying because he said, I represented British Guyana at the highest level. When I came to New York, and nobody knew who I am.
Wow.
So over the years, we continue to do that, and also Trinidad, became weaker and weaker because not too many cricketers um, is blossoming for the young cricketers. So we had to change the format and made it into Ghana versus the rest of the Caribbean.
Right.
And
Okay.
we started doing that, and then after that we decided to include some of the Asian players into into the rest of the Caribbean team. And
Okay.
like you said, last Saturday, we had at least 3 Asian players that was in there. And the purpose of that is to bring all these families today because everybody comes out, everybody knows the Indo-Caribbean Federation, and they know they get that game.
Right.
And
Right.
the purpose of that also is to bring all these families out, to come out and enjoy, a good days of cricket. Last year we also added the under 25 team. And the
Mhm.
purpose of that is to give these young guys exposure, to this level of cricket. Because most of these guys actually are just playing club cricket. And after
Okay.
club cricket, there's nowhere else to go other than you represent the United States or something.
Right. Right. Right.
But we give them an opportunity to represent Guyana, to represent the rest of the Caribbean. And the response has been tremendously good
Okay.
because I drove up at the park Saturday morning at 7:30. Well, they had over 20 something players there already. So they
Okay.
have enthusiasm, they have the willingness, and
Right.
ready. They want to play cricket at that level.
Okay. Great. Glad to hear. Um, we'll show a little clip from that match that was on YouTube, and we'll come back.
So gala event this Saturday at Anton's by the Hall of Fame.
So 98 for 5. Good shot here from Harpreet Singh. He's got away before. So 4 more runs off the bat of Harpreet Singh. We've seen him taking a 6 and a 4 in this over. And so the equation, John, comes down to 74 to win from 55. 74 to win from 55.
Yes, Lenny, they passed the 100 milestone mark, and now they can focus on getting the 76 runs. And in fact, they just need to get 74 more for victory. 74 off of 55 legal deliveries.
So this one has gone for 14 off Reggie Winter. So 74 from 55, still asking 6, still asking 8 runs and over. We're going a 6.4, still some work to be done. We've seen a couple of big strikes in this over from Harpreet Singh. And the man at the non-striker end, Adrian Pahari, he's batted well for 32. Oh, smashed! And that got a long way. Hit out of here. That is gone. A long.
All right. Ralph, you said that was a surprise ending. Tell us about what it feels like, to be out there and seeing a player come on to.
Well, yeah, I see. One of the good things about that is that the exposure he's gotten. Like I said, nobody knew, and I don't know anything about Harpreet Singh before that game. And here he came on the scene, and he took control of that game. Guyana was in the driving seat at that point, and then this guy came and just took the whole game away from Guyana. So it's good to see these young guys coming out. I'm proud of that. That he's giving these young guys some exposure at this level of cricket.
Right, great. Is this a player you familiar with, Udesh?
Yeah, he plays in the National League, the league that we play in. He plays for a team I think called Mary Perry, and he's one of their go-to guy, especially in those situations. So he's not a stranger to those situations. He's a big hitter, but again, in the Caribbean community, he's fairly new. So that's why he took everybody by surprise. But he's known for his hitting.
He's known for his hitting. Okay, great. So tell us about the what's happening with Galaxy at the club level so far, and then we'll talk about the inter-county game this weekend.
Well, so far we've been fortunate of the preliminary rounds all finished. We are now waiting for the playoff, which for the round robin, we finished on top of the table, which was good. I know with the minor league, it was very challenging for us getting wins because of uh, a lot of our top players went to the minor leagues, and which is the new franchise cricket in the United States right now. So
Okay.
as for Galaxy itself, our club, we were missing for about 5 6 games. About 7 top players. So, good thing we had the bench strength. Plus, of course, some of the games we had to play short, but we had enough, so to say, to get us be victorious. And it's a good feeling we're going to the playoff #1 seed. So we played hard cricket. So we put together a good combination. Uh, you know, once the season gets going, but with the minor league, our club suffered a bit. But we should get back most of those players for the playoff and looking forward to welcoming them back because playoff is the
Right.
deal now. This is what we play for all season, and you want your best team out there.
Definitely. All right. And what's going on with the game this weekend? The annual inter-county game. That I know usually Barbies comes out on top, right?
Yeah, for the last a few years, Barbie's been champions, and this year I know it's a bit challenging to get some of the most familiar players, the star players for Burbies,
Mm-hmm.
based on the fact that they're minor leagues and also club level playoffs starting this week on Saturday. So a lot of these players will be turning out for the various clubs and minor league. But on a good note, there being a lot of youngsters selected to represent their various counties, which is good for them. They need the exposure and
Right.
get their names. As Uncle Ralph said last Saturday, no one knows about Harpreet Singh. You never know. A youngster might emerge doing something uh, very very magical, and so they need the opportunity, and this is a good. It's a good thing that they are getting these opportunities because the big names, the stars, the superstars that bring people out to the ground, they will be at their club playoff. But people should come out, support the youngsters, and they need our support. They are their futures. Our future.
Right, and the game is going to be on Rockaway, right?
Correct. Rockaway
Right.
and 150th Street, Baisley Pond.
Okay, great.
I know as the past years, the the champion team from the previous year normally stand by to play the finals, which Burbies was the champion, is defending champion, so they will be standing by, waiting to see
The Demerara and SCP game. All
correct.
right. You're watching Bits and Pieces NYC. We'll be back shortly. Chris, there is a special event this weekend that's going to be held at Anton's on Springfield Boulevard, the Hall of Fame cricket. Could you tell us about who's going to be inducted and give us some background?
Well, as you know, the Hall of Fame has been going on for quite some time, and it's usually held where they have the Hall of Fame.
Excuse me. You're cutting off your head. Yeah. Okay. All right. You can see you clear now.
Well, as you know, the Hall of Fame's been going on for quite a while. It
Okay.
was originally done in Connecticut, where there is the Hall of Fame building. But in the last year, because of the COVID, there was no Hall of Fame. The year before, we had it in New York, and subsequently, we've been having it in New York. And this week, we will be having it in New York again. Apparently, New York's been pretty good in supporting this kind of stuff. And
Okay.
the guys who are going to be inducted are the guys who were supposed to be inducted last year. Guys like Zamin Amin, who just captained the West Indies team to Toronto last weekend. Right. And then we have the guy, Joe Allen from the Bronx. He is a former U.S. player, and he plays in the Masters tournament now. Similarly, Zamin plays in the Masters tournament for Everest Club, which is part of my team. And we have a couple other guys, two guys who passed away, going to be also given a plaque.
Okay.
That's Patrick, and the other guy is Hugh Pitter. But then we have some guys coming. Yunus Khan from Pakistan, he will be there. We have the former president of the West Indies Cricket Board, right? He's a Hall
Okay.
of Famer, so he will be there too. So they're gonna be 5 people inducted in the Hall of Fame, and
Very
these
good.
are all guys coming over from last year.
Okay.
Apparently, we were hoping that Sir Gary Sobers attended because he promised to come, and because of the COVID, last
Hmm.
minute he pulled out.
Right.
But nonetheless, it's a pretty good affair. We sold a lot of tickets. The place has been sold out, and Anton's provided good spread when it comes to food. And a lot of
Hmm.
people, I know Ralph's going to be there. He already bought tickets, and a lot of people bought tickets. John Aaron is the guy coordinating this whole thing. We have
Okay.
a team from New York, which Mass Bailey is the chairman. We got Lloyd Dixon. We have the commissioner of schools. You know, we got a lot of people, quite 11 people on the board, and
Right. Right.
they run this thing. But I don't know if they're gonna. I know they haven't won in Miami at the
Hmm.
end of this year, which Croatia is gonna put on. So that's going to be the 2021 induction ceremony.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
good to give all these guys who played and who served the cricket over the years some sort of a recognition. And
Right.
I know one day the youngster there, he might get into because I know since I know him, I didn't recognize him, but after his name was mentioned, I said,
Right.
"Oh man, Umesh has been around cricket. He
Right.
is
Right.
very pushy. Ralph Tamesh, all these guys are there. So we're thankful that we have people who wants to get involved in the cricket still. So we're looking forward for the Hall of Fame this weekend, and hopefully we can get a lot of people to attend.
All right. Now, one of the names you mentioned, I mean, it was kind of dropped softly, Yunus Khan. But Yunus Khan, is a very special cricketer. He's just not, ordinary person being inducted there. Give us your own little take on Yunus Khan.
Well, Yunus Khan was the last guy to join the group. Apparently, they were looking for Gary Sobers to come, which he agreed to come. But
Mm-hmm.
then his COVID problem prevented him from coming. Then uh, there was 2 other guys from Pakistan, Shahid Afridi, who was going to come. But then
Okay.
it so happened that they have another function in New York within the next couple of weeks. And these guys are coming to play in that tournament. So they asked him if he would like to be at the Hall of Fame. and you know you got a big important man like Eunice Can, he's gonna
Okay.
attract a lot of people
Right,
because
right,
he's very
right.
famous. So
Okay.
hopefully we'll see him there and we get a chance to honor him.
All right, all right. You're watching Bits and Pieces NYC. We'll be back shortly to close up.
Got it through. And if you can play a shot like that, why would you want to win? Oh, that's a good one. Well, he's got the wicket underneath. Well, he's got it. Get it in!
Bruce, I'll ask you to reverse your decision. You're on screen now.
Pulled away in the air, but fine. That's the shot. Oh, that's out. Didn't cost him too much. Moeen Ali goes through Wahab on the pitch. That's a big hit. He did one yesterday.
Shot. What a shot that was. Excellent shot from Eunice Khan.
Yep. He has. And he's gone for 6. Yeah, it's a big 6, and that brings up his 200.
All right, to close off, starting with you, Ralph. How do you see, moving forward? How will you deal with like the conflict in terms of scheduling? We have like the minor league, we have club cricket, and then these games like the under 25, your annual game. How do you see the schedule conflict moving forward?
Well, I'd say the first thing we got to do is that we all got to get together. I mean, the Intercaribbean Federation, I'm not talking because I'm the president, but that's been a game that's played in the third week of August every year.
Mm-hmm.
And originally, they had scheduled games to be played on that day, minor league and also the playoffs. They knew about it 3 months ago because we give them our dates. At the beginning of the year, I have a schedule of events for the ICF, and that's cricket is one of them. So these guys, they knew about it, and they will continue. But I said to myself, I'm not going to back down from this. I'm going to continue, keep the date, and good things happen. To the ICF, the New York League canceled their game for that weekend. And there was a few minor league games also had to be moved because the minor league actually went and booked that ground, although we had it, before. Mm-hmm. But our senior, who is Charlton Senior, who works at who takes care of the ground, he assured me, he said that you spoke to me 3 months ago about this, and I'm not going to give this to anyone. Although they asked these guys, they asked them to give them more money, so to push us out. But I kept pushing it, and the good Lord was with us, and we were able to play our game. We get the players that we needed. Yes, we didn't get everyone because of the minor league, but it was like I said, it was a very competitive game. And coming back to scheduling, we all got to work together. I mean, the ICF game is a one-day thing, but I cannot see, like for instance, Galaxy. Most of these players, I mean, like 50% of their players come from overseas, and these guys come up every year. And when they come to be playing in the minor league, you got to be dedicated and you got to be loyal to someone. If you're coming to play for your club, you got to be loyal to your club. Now, I understand that guys they're getting paid to play in the minor league, but then there got to be some kind of loyalty. And if you don't have that, we're not going anywhere because you pull in players, playing in the minor league, playing in the club. Like for instance, this weekend coming up here, you have minor league games playing, and you have the playoffs. you cannot see the best players. You know,
Right. Right.
so
You did what would you have to that?
Well, I agree with Uncle Ralph that way he said that everyone should come together and make the best team. Um, Again, it's collective effort from everyone. When it comes to playoff and minor leagues, and the only thing that I not the only thing I think a major issue is with the minor league, as they put it's a stepping stone in making big things for U.S. cricket.
Mhm.
But I think they should wait on club cricket or club tournaments, leagues, leagues
Right.
to finish to select teams, because they're where they should get the stats from in selecting their players. And there are a lot of youngsters out there who put up big numbers in terms of runs and taking wickets, but you know their stats are not counted for selection in the minor league. Yes, they're the big names, the international players, and whatever the case is, which they're coming for an opportunity as well, because a lot of the Guyanese players, some Asian players, and the entire Caribbean.
Mhm.
Much cricket is not being played there at the moment. So whoever uh, players that are not making their national team, they see the opportunity to come over here with their club, with a club, and they're being signed by a minor league franchises, which is a good opportunity for them as well, beyond the club level. But then again, it's a conflict with clashing together the minor league and
Right. Right.
the club, the leagues, and especially with playoff, starting now, and minor league is what 8 games in already, I think. So they should come to some agreement where time frames should be prioritized to leagues, minor league, and then of course you have the ICF, which is in the ICF game. I don't think it's much of a conflict because, again, Uncle Rob, I think because it's players are being selected from all the entire world, Guyana, Jamaica, Asia, so in that game you will get a lot of superstars still, but in terms of clubs in the leagues, where minor league clash together, a lot of clubs suffer. But we're
Right.
hoping at Galaxy we get most, if not all, our players back, and I'm glad that for the opportunity they're getting through the minor league to get their names. We
Mhm.
have some very very good performance in the minor league coming out from our club, which is good for us as well and good for them. But we should be getting them back to the playoffs.
Okay. Cool. All right. To close it out, Krish, as someone you've been around for years, looking on, managing a team, being part of a team. As the minor league begins to grow, we still have club cricket. We have the annual functions like the ICF. How do you see, like Ralph suggested, the organizers and the admins being able to work together moving forward?
Well, you see, that's very important because, like Yogesh says, the structure has to be there. The first thing is club cricket. We had club cricket for years. Club cricket was there, and then from club cricket, you get to the leagues, and then from the leagues, you get to the region and inter-region, and then you get selected to play for United States. But the way they're doing it now, which is might be good, they're giving a lot of people the opportunity to play who wants to play, but the structure is not there. And I could see where Yogesh and Ralph is coming from. The structure must be there where people have a stepping stone, moving from one level to another. And in that way, the young guys and the local cricketers will get an edge to show their talent. We just can't bring in foreign players in here all the time. That's not going to help our cricket, our grassroots cricket. We got school cricket going on now. For over the last 12 years, we have school cricket. And it's a major part of building cricket. And we have the school uh, boss who is part of the Cricket Hall of Fame. So, with that, we would like to see the structure. I mean, we're going to have Dave Cameron there this week, and I'm sure he's going to talk about that. Passat Thompson from the schools, he's there, he's involved in the Cricket Hall of Fame. But these guys are all for a structured cricket. You just can't come in and say you're playing for minor leagues and you haven't played no club cricket, no league cricket, and regional cricket. I don't believe in that. That's my take.
Right. All right. It seems that's a very big discussion, which we'll have at another time. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking some time out to join us on Bits and Pieces. Anything that anyone needs to say before we close out?
Yes, Nancy. I think you were there last week Thursday when we had the seminar for the under 25 cricketers.
Right.
And I think that's a start of something good, because some of the speakers that we had there were very, the information that they gave out was very good, and we're going to continue to do that because we focus on mostly on the under 25 cricketers. And like I always say, cricket is just 1 or 2 day a week. What do you do with the other 5 days? And that was the purpose of having that seminar. We had guys from the Richmond High School, from the college. We have NYPD, speaking to these youngsters, give them some guidance. It's not they have to have something to fall back on. Cricket. If you don't make it in the big league, then you have to work. And I'm hoping that some of these youngsters that came out there last week can profit from that and can take some advice. And they're young; they have their whole life ahead of them. And if you cannot make it in the United States, you can't make it anywhere else. All the opportunities are here.
Very good.
Yeah, especially I think especially cricket in America. It's not one of the most recognized sports within the American society, but hopefully with the minor league, with the introduction of more major tournaments, this can take cricket to a different level and have players actually making a living off it. But as now, I think that was a great initiative Uncle Ralph took in getting the younger cricketers educated about beyond the sport.
Okay. All right. Thank you again. Thank you so much, Krish. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Yodesh. And thank you, viewers. This has been Bits and Pieces NYC. Good night.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us on.
Okay.
Good job. Keep it up. Thank you.
So gala event this Saturday at Anton's by the Hall of Fame.
So 98 for 5.